This is the condition of the floor after I've removed all the carpeting that were there for many years. Now I have two choices, either to replace the floor or sand. And giving the condition looks like all I need is to sand the flooring. So I've gone ahead and I sanded it. I wanted to show you every room before I start sanding. This is what it looks like right now. So first day is step one, sanding with coarse sandpaper. What you want to do is you want to get as much as sanding possible, especially those stained areas. In some cases, you might have to push the roller sander in an angle just to try to take stains out. But overall, try to stay with the grain of the floor, grain of the wood. In this case, because of the condition of the flooring, as you could see the marking on the floor, the sander had to go through different angles. So you want to get to as much up against the wall as possible. Because of the nature of the sander, you can't really get to the edge and the edge of the floor. Not to worry, we have different sander that can be used for that. Some of the marking you could still see as you see those stains. So what's going to happen is after going through the process, most of it is going to come out. So what you do is you use this smaller sander like you see on the video to get to the stairs, because you can't fit that big roller sander on it. We're going to use the same sander for the stairs plus the edges. I will show you later on the video, like those edges can easily be sanded down with that smaller sander. Now it's a good idea to have stains, if you are going to stain your floor, different stains on your floor to see which one will work for you. So I've sampled a bunch of stain, but at the end I've decided not to use this stain because I was impressed by the natural color of this wood, of this flooring. So in the closet, the big machine did what it could. We have to get the smaller machine to get the edges like so. Pay attention to the rhythm, the back and forth motion that is being used here to try to get the wood sanded. The sander has to move in not against the grain, trying to go with the grain as much as possible. This particular sander goes in circle anyway, so don't stress it too much. Watch the corners. See how beautiful that looks? It's like cutting a piece of cake. Every piece of equipment has a purpose. This particular sander is doing us wonders right here. The big machine did most of the work, but this small one, it's very much needed here for this particular job. So you have to go back and forth until you get rid of the stain and the polyurethane that you might have on the floor. I did not have those moldings in place, so that made it really great because I could always put the molding on later on. Now this particular sander also have a vacuum attachment to minimize the dust, the wood sanding dust as much as possible. Somewhere along the line you'll see the big vacuum, and this is the sandpaper that this sender uses. Now after sanding, you want to use the patches. So this is basically day one, step two, wood patching. So what you got to do is you want to patch all the cracks and the holes that you have discovered. This is the time to cover them all up. So every room, every stair, every step of the way, you want to make sure they are all covered. Then you change the sandpaper to fine. So still day one, we're on step three. What we're going to do is we're going to sand over the patch with the finer sandpaper. And you want to watch your speed, and you want to watch the direction. You do not want to go against the grain of the wood. You want to stay with the grain. And once the patch was dried, we decided to go over it throughout the entire house. Just sand it one more time. One of the key things is cleaning up while you're working as well. So you want to use this vacuum. We have this special attachment to the vacuum. You want to vacuum as much of the wood dust as you can, because right now the floor is in preparation for the next step, which is to seal up the floor. So you want to use the vacuum to get all the wood dust off. And on top of that, I could not show you on the video, but we took a white towel. You take a white towel and wipe off the floor. Literally wipe the floor off from any remaining dust after vacuuming. So day one, step 4, you're using this floor sealer, and this should do a good job sealing up your floor. This is a step before first coat of polyurethane. So this we're gonna go ahead, and this floor sealer is going to be all over the floor, one coat of it. And once it dries off, we're going to go ahead and do step 5 on day 1. You don't have to do all in the same day, but we had a team of 3 people, so all of these steps are getting done on day 1. So this is what it looks like after floor seal is applied and dried. So we're waiting for the sealer to dry, and when that happens, we're going to go ahead and apply the first coat of polyurethane. So this is day 1, step 5. First coat of polyurethane is being applied at this point. As you can see, the grain of the polyurethane, it's very important to apply the polyurethane as well along the grain of the wood. You do not want to go against the grain of the wood. You want to go with the grain of the wood. So this is what it looks like after the first coat of polyurethane. This project, we're going to go ahead and apply second coat of polyurethane. But before you apply second coat, you would have to buff the floor one last time. And I'm sure you could notice in the middle of this video, of these particular pictures, there are some spots that dried more than the other. That's because certain pieces of the wood absorbs polyurethane more than the other. So what we're going to do after the first coat, we're on the second day, step 1, we're going to do buffing. We're going to buff the first coat with the circular sander, but we're not using the sand paper. We're using those sponge type buffer, just to kind of make smooth things out. And for the step, we use sandpaper for hand sand only. Do not use the machine. So if you look closely, you can see the white powdery substance. That's the first coat of polyurethane coming off. And what this step does also, it smooths up your floor. If you don't do this step right here, your floor will not feel smooth. You'll feel sharp edges everywhere. So after this step, the floor starts to feel smoother. So day 2, step 2, we are vacuuming and cleaning. So what that is exactly what it says. First, we're going to vacuum, and second, we're going to take a damp, damp rag or towel and wipe down what you have just finished vacuuming. Because what you do not want to cover up any kind of dust with the second coat of polyurethane. So we are getting ready for day 2, step 3, where second coat of polyurethane is being applied at this point. If you like, you can go ahead and apply the third coat, but we find that the second coat of polyurethane makes the floor look great, and the need of a third coat was not necessary at this point. When you're about to finish your coat, please be mindful where the exit is. You do not want to trap yourself against a room and you can't leave because the floor is wet. If you have ever tried stepping on a wet polyurethane, it is very, very slippery. And this is what the job looks like at the end of the second coat. The picture doesn't justify its real appearance, and I gotta tell you, it looks beautiful up front. But I'm happy with this coat. If you like, you can add another coat. It's completely up to you. But second coat of polyurethane was fine for me.